Hey guys, what's up? Kesh here, and today I'm bringing you my Rook guide. Like last time, I'll go over his equipment, playstyle, and some tips and tricks. So let's get started. So first off, we're gonna take a look at his equipment. Let's start with the P90. You have the option of 4 different sights, and this is purely down to preference. I will say though that I always prefer the holographic sight as it has a small reticle and the frame doesn't cover up too much of the screen. Next, we can screw on a suppressor or a flash hider. Personally, I sometimes prefer the suppressor as it gives a slight improvement in the recoil, but I feel fine without it, so sometimes I take it, sometimes I'm not. The flash hider is, well, a bit lackluster, not many uses in my opinion, and the sound of the game already exposes your position easily. Lastly, you can put a laser sight on it, but I highly recommend you don't, as this only serves one purpose, and that's to reveal your position. You can say it's easier to hipfire with, but you should never be hipfiring in the first place. Next up is my favorite, the MP5. It has a considerable less amount of recoil than the P90, and this pretty much makes it better in my opinion. Like I said before, I like to go with the holographic sight for more vision, and the suppressor and vertical grip for better handling. But again, this is all up to preference. Lastly, we have the SG CQB, which I'm pretty sure stands for Shotgun Close Quarters Combat, and that pretty much sums it up as well. Use it if you want on maps where it's tight and small. Maps like Yacht, Oregon, and Hereford Base are some examples, but personally I like to go with the MP5 as it's a good all-arounder. Moving on to the sidearms, we have the LFP 586 and the P9. For taking out drones and having a controlled spam for when the primary runs out of ammo, I like to go with the P9. The LFP 586 has such an incredible recoil, but it packs a real punch. So again, this is down to personal preference, and I think you should pick whatever you feel comfortable with. Finishing off, we have his 2 gadgets, which are the deployable shield and the barbed wire. These 2 are pretty much only dependent on the tactic your team is running and what playstyle you like to go with. If you're going to sit in a corner and defend, pick the shield. If you're going to roam, pick the barbed wire. And with the equipment out of the way, we'll move on to his playstyle.
I trust my teammates. And they trust me.
So when you first look at Rook, he's pretty basic. You pick a weapon and gadget, throw down the armor plates, and you've done your job. And that's actually just how he works. But to master him, there's a few more things you can focus on. The first thing I want to say, and I can't stress this enough, is to put down the armor plates at the beginning. Do not start running around barricading, looking for drones or whatever. Your first priority as Rook should always be to place down the armor plates as soon as you can. The reason why is because the people that are going to roam want to pick up the plates before they run off, and most of the time they're running on a tight schedule. You do not want to be wasting your time because it'll only piss them off. I'll get more into placement of the armor plates later. What you should do after placing the plates is to start reinforcing the walls. Take a look at the room first, survey the situation, and get a plan for what you want to do. A common mistake with the reinforced walls is to place them between 2 rooms when you, for example, have a bomb in 2 different places. You want to have vision on both rooms, so you should be reinforcing walls close to where you think the enemy will come in. After you've barricaded and planted the defenses, you should be checking the cameras. This should also be done before the timer runs out, as there's some places where you can shoot the camera right as you spawn. A good tip is to always scroll left on the cameras and not right. If you start going through the cameras to the right, the inside cameras will show up first. But if you go left, you'll get the outside cameras first. When you've gotten an idea of where they're coming from, you can either decide to roam or defend the objective. When defending and it's 2 bombs, you should make sure you have control over both rooms. And if you want, you can start on a small peek hole in the wall. If you feel like you found a good spot to defend, you can throw down the deployable shield as well. And when you're going to roam, you should always know where the enemy is coming from. This opens up a lot of advantages and it'll make you feel a bit more secure. If you can, you should always ask a teammate that's on the objective to follow them on the camera, but don't constantly mark them. This will only alert them that they're spotted and they'll start looking for the camera. Tell your teammate to use the in-game voice chat instead. For those moments when you have absolutely no clue where they're coming from, you should always be extra careful. Stay away from the entrances and try to go up or down a floor, depending on where your objective is, obviously. You want to try and locate the enemy and then come up behind them. The worst that can happen is that you start roaming and instantly get shot from a random location, because you're rushing it. Take it slow and walk crouched as often as you can. A thing I like to do is to sprint when there's a lot of shooting and explosions going on. The sound in the game is so loud that it's almost impossible to hear anything over the noise of bullets and breach charges. Another thing I want to mention is the armor value of the armor plates. When a defender, say for example Bandit, puts on a plate, his armor rating goes from 1 to 3. On operators that already have an armor rating of 3, it increases even more. So how the plates work is that the chances of being downed instead of killed is increased by a huge amount. Therefore, it's crucial that absolutely everyone on your team gets a plate. Rook is top tier at the moment, and much of that is because of the value you get out of the plates. One more good reason for why everyone should get a plate is that the enemy team can pick up what's left, if your team left some for them. So now I'm going to go into more about the placement of the armor plates. A thing you've probably seen in the game is the small ventilation holes, where drones can come through. These provide great access for the attackers, and it's a good hiding spot for the drones as well. You're probably wondering why I'm mentioning them as well, and this is why. If you memorize the ventilation spots, you can sometimes get a great advantage by placing them like this. I've only seen someone do this once, but it's a tactic that works great for many reasons. If you're quick enough, the drones will be at first a bit shocked as to why there's something in the way, and you'll have an easy time shooting him. It also blocks vision past the back, so sometimes you might even deny them of spotting the objective. Another thing that's great is that it blocks off anyone trying to shoot at your feet. If they know it's something in the way, they might even start shooting and expose their own position. I would recommend you start doing this as soon as you get your hands on Rook, but don't take too long in placing it, just throw it down as close as you can and keep doing it every time. Eventually you'll get better and better at it. And don't try and place it all the way onto the wall either, as it doesn't work. Believe me, I tried. And that pretty much sums it up. I could have gone on for ages about how to defend an objective or how to roam, but I'll save that for another video in the future. If you want to see more guides like this, or just me playing some casual or ranked games, you can go to my channel and subscribe. Or just click the red button below this video, if you haven't already. Also, if you liked the video, be sure to like it, and if you disliked it, leave a comment down below telling me what you didn't like. And if you have a friend that really sucks at playing Rook, you should share this video. And with that, I will end this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.